stage.
Oh, well, I don't get a moderator?
We're going back and forth?
Well, I mean, I have to realize that I don't have those 3 letters by my name.
No, I'm not the expert in this area, you know.
Are you a father?
I am.
Okay, then. I'm not an expert either.
All right. Well, tell us about Fathers on a Mission. How did you come up? Tell us about Fathers on a Mission. How did you come up with this organization? What prompted you? And then, how long have you guys been? How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, so I started Fathers on a Mission in 2017 while I was working shift work for the plant. When I moved back to Baton Rouge, I'm born and raised from here. Left off, went to the Navy, submarines, worked for Northrop Grumman, moved back here. I seen that there wasn't no readily available resources for fathers. Being a father myself, there were no different organizations to support mothers and kids, which is fabulous, needed. But there was nothing directly to support fathers. And at the same time, I was doing a lot of mentoring, right? Mentoring in the schools, mentoring in the community. And I just felt like it was something more needed to try to reduce the cycle of kids that needed mentoring. Okay. And so as a man of faith, I prayed to God. I said, it got to be something else done besides mentoring kids twice a month or once a month or whatever the case may be. And so he told me, he said, look at yourself and what would help you not make as many mistakes that you made in life. And so when I looked at myself, I realized, if my dad was involved in my life, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of mistakes I've made, a lot of things I didn't know I could have possibly known, I even made a mistake. So I said, wow, so he wants us to work with fathers. So again, I took this idea to different organizations. Nobody didn't want to do it. Everybody wanted to stay in their lane. Nobody wanted to work with fathers. I said, but look, this makes sense. I'm telling you, if mine's in my life, it makes sense.
The only other time that I've seen this, when I was in med school in Indiana, mm-hmm. and you had to be in trouble first. Mm-hmm. You had to get caught up in the system first, and then they sent you to a training on how to be a father to get less time.
Right.
So I applaud you for doing it ahead of time.
Appreciate it. And so I got frustrated because nobody wanted to do it. So I told myself, okay, well, if I'm going to listen to God, what is it that I really want to do? And so, I say I want to create a space for guys to be able to come and talk and share the most vulnerable things about themselves when it comes to fatherhood. And so with that, we had our first fatherhood meeting, per se, at the Jewel Community Center back in 2017. And we just had a general conversation about fatherhood. So going forward, we started having monthly fatherhood meetings on various topics such as the life of a single father, the life of a married father, raising boys versus raising girls, how to talk to kids about health and hygiene, just various topics, right? And so I started seeing that it was really catching on. Guys were, trickling in. We had somewhere from 0, 5, 12, 0, 2, 1, 0. And so over the years of doing that, we also added a father and daughter dance. I was kept getting invited to come to speak at father and daughter dances, so we started doing a father and daughter dance, cooking with dads. And then it was just a point of educating dads, fathers, regardless of their circumstances, right? Regardless if you're black, white, purple, pink, regardless if you're living in poverty or if you're successful or whatever it may be, there's no status barriers with this. And so continue going forward with it. And so 2 years ago, I actually started working for it full time. And today we have our office located at 1120 Government Street. And thank you, appreciate it. And we just launched our satellite office location on the corner of Choctaw and Acadia neighborhood where I grew up at. So that was very exciting. So we do case management. So all the same services organizations do for mothers, we do it for fathers. Employment, education, mental health. Whatever it is. I don't care if it's a service that we don't have connection to. We're gonna find out somebody in the city or in the area that has that service to provide for fathers. And so that is what we do, right? If we're going to reduce a lot of the negatives when it comes to children, we have to start at home and make sure that we are supporting our fathers and father figures.
Okay. And so, any donations or any needs that you guys need at this time?
I mean, just like any other nonprofit, right? So we all survive off funding. So our website is F.O.A.M, F-O-A-M-L-A.org. You can see the different things that we have going on. Like I said, there's a video about the luncheon that we just did 2 weeks ago. But yeah, every organization, every nonprofit needs funding, support, volunteers. We have fatherhood classes on every Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. And when we say fatherhood classes, no, it's really special because it's not necessarily a class, it's a conversation. Okay. So I'm not a preacher or a teacher, so I'm not going to sit here, we're not going to sit here and have class, but it's a conversation amongst men about different topics of fatherhood, such as a father's effect on his child, manhood. As a matter of fact, last week we just did dealing with stress. Right, so that was a great topic that we did. We bring in health, subject matter experts to come in and facilitate those topics. But it's a great atmosphere where guys come out and realize that there's a lot of things within self that I may or may not know. Or even if you think you're the best dad, come out and share something with us who don't mind having those conversations, you know. So I get a lot of guys who say, man, I don't need to go to no fatherhood class. Okay, well, come and share some of your knowledge. You know, and I actually have a couple of guys here. You know, they can definitely share about their experiences at F.O.A.M.
Okay. And so, do you guys? Not only do you have the classes, you also have mentors involved with them as well.
Yeah. So through our case management process, you know, we have guys who are certified responsible fatherhood facilitators and family life coaches, where the guys come and we find out, just like any other case management process, what are the needs of them and their family. So if it's a job, or even let's say if it's barriers to a job, right? They may need a TWIC card, or a utility bill paid, transportation, whatever it is within means that we have or we can find. We definitely line them up to that to help them to be the best they can. And it's not crazy, but it's special because we have guys. Of course, everybody's gonna say, "Oh, this is for guys who." You know, who are in poverty or things like that. We've had Congressman Garrett Graves come to our meeting, and he also shared at another meeting about his experience. The meeting he came to was titled "Being There, but Being There," and he shared that you know, he's only in Baton Rouge 2 days out of the week, right? He's in D.C. But he said not until he came to one of our sessions, which was titled "Being There, but Being There," he never realized that he was there but not there. And so when we say that, we talk about a father being here, my child's here, and I'm on a laptop, I'm watching a football game, I'm on the phone, but my child's here. I'm there, but I'm not there. And so what do our kids really get out of that? Nothing besides there's somebody I can't go and talk to when I'm going through something, right? So again, I say to say, you know, it's no status barrier, it's no race barrier. Fatherhood is all about the common term of fatherhood with us.
I might have to come because I know I was.
Ain't no might.
I know I was a there not being there early on. You know, coming out of medical school, going to residency, trying to, you know, like I focus, tunnel vision. So I know I'm very guilty of being there, being there for 2-3 years. So that's a real thing.
Yeah, man, it's you know, like I say, myself, father never in my life, right? So I had to learn father from making mistakes, learning, making mistakes, learning, guidance, mentorship, you know, and things like that. And so it's, you know, it's not just guys that's in poverty or who grew up in poverty. They are very successful people and middle class people that just need some fatherhood conversation just to realize what it is that they need to do to ensure that their families are taken care of. Regardless if the father's in the home or outside the home, we still have a responsibility when it comes to fatherhood. So we advocate on the side also, you know, with fathers who are going through alienation practice, right? We have a strong relationship with DCFS, who's one of our huge supporters, to where, for instance, you know, with the child support things, right? We meet. I have a direct connection with the executive team about how we deal with guys who are behind on child support. Thank God they don't lock them up anymore per se. DCFS is becoming more fatherly friendly. I spoke at their conference last year about the barriers that are placed in front of fathers when it comes to child support. But then also on the flip side of it, fathers have to also realize why they are on child support. It's not DCFS' fault or child support enforcement. They're just enforcing something that what a judge put in place. Regardless if you own it because you need to be on it or because of whatever, it doesn't matter. But you know, there's a responsibility that has to be made. But then also we hold them accountable, right? Okay. So we hold fathers accountable about making sure that you are being there, spending time with your kids, and things like that. So we have different processes that we use to get fathers involved. We have father and child bonding activities. This year, our father and daughter dance is on April the 6th. We have this is our 7th year doing an annual father and daughter dance at Helix Aviation Academy. April the 6th is a father and daughter dance. We do cooking with dads. We got sponsored by the Joe Burrow Foundation this year for our cooking with dads. We have a chef, nutritionist come in and show the dads and the kids a healthy meals to cook, and we do the cooking on site. So that last time we had Chef Tracy, and they had all the equipment set up, and they cook on site. They have nice chef hats and chef aprons on, so make it fun and exciting. And we do a lot of great giveaways, such as camping gear, tents, tailgating chairs, all type of nice stuff. Barbecue grills, deep freezers. So we make it worthwhile for the fathers to come and make sure we give them more than worthwhile time. Since Mr. Jimmy did shout out barbecue grills, I'm going to ask Mr. Jimmy to come up. And I can sit here and talk about all the great things we do at Fathers on a Mission, right? But nothing is better than hearing it from, I'm not going to say the horse's mouth, but from Jimmy's mouth. So I'm asking Mr. Jimmy. Okay, she has a microphone right there, Jimmy.
I'm not a horse. I'm not a horse. Shout out, can y'all please give Levar a hand? I mean, so it's funny to hear him talk about it and being in this position, because I'm a part of the organization. So as he said, it's a great organization. But why is it great? Why is it beneficial? I mean, men get together and we could talk about women, we could talk about sports, we could talk about stress, we could talk about work. We talk about those things, and we talk about those things to our partners, our neighbors, but we really don't always come together and talk about the real issues, the stuff that really be on our mind, the stuff that really get us stressed. So when I went to the organization, I went to just check it out, and like he said, it was a father cookout for the kids. That was my first time there, and it was awesome. I mean, to see dads cooking with the kids, they were there, but the kids loved it. The kids had more fun than the dads did because their dad was actually cooking. But for me, when I went to that meeting, it was because I needed to talk. There were some things I needed to get off my chest. And one of the things Levar practice is there's no judgment, there's no right or wrong answers. Just have the dialogue, just have the conversation. We just want to hear what you got to say, and what you say might be beneficial to somebody else who had the meeting, so bring your input. And that was real impressive. Now, like he said, of course, there's a class, there's curriculums, I've done all that. But what's more awesome than that is meeting other men. I done met dads, young and old, my age, etc., but everybody has something to contribute, and that's what I miss. I know we in a time where we don't have as many elders as we used to, as many men that you can look up to. At least that's what I've noticed. But when you come to these meetings, you got men from different socioeconomic status, different ages, and everybody has something to contribute. No matter what you're going through, somebody's either been through it or has something that they could tell you to at least try. So for me, fatherhood is something that I didn't have when I was 18, 20, 21. And now in my 40s, I just found out about the organization. So I just had to see it with my own eyes, see if it's for real, see if it's everything that he said it is, and I'm still involved. So I know y'all hear Levar, and I know you hear me, but just like me, you gotta come check it out for yourself. There is nothing I can tell you to make it sound awesome like it really is, but when you come there, no matter what activity you show up from, Levar's energy, the other people's energy, you can't help but to get infected by it, because it really is for men. Not to say we don't appreciate the women, but this is for us. And we need it now, we need it badly. I don't know how to put it, but just come check it out. All you gotta do is just come to the meetings, come to an event, say hi to Levar. He's gonna be happy to see you. And listen, it is a good organization. He got 2 locations now, which is really impressive in the short time that I've been involved. And it's just been a real eye-opener and something beneficial for men of any age. I don't want to just say men of my age, of any age. Young, old, kids, no kids. Just come check it out.
Oh, Jimmy, you so sweet. Appreciate it, Jimmy. And so while we got the mic over there, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I got Kevin over there. Kevin came and joined us. The next guy, he popped up in today. So I'm going to let Kevin share about his experience with F.O.A.M.
Oh, thanks, Levar. And thanks for throwing this event that Levar told me about. It's been very enlightening for me. Anyway, F.O.A.M, I was introduced to Levar. I was the executive director at Celtic Studios here in town, which is the big place behind Costco, as most of us don't know it. And our CFO had connected me with Levar. We had a meeting, and he basically said what he said today, that, you know, his mission. And, you know, I had asked Levar early on, I said, well, this sounds so great, you know, do all the mothers hit you up to do something? And he brought up the great point that, you know, we could always use more, but there's a lot of things out there for mother and children and nothing for fathers. And that really stuck out to me. And, you know, just kind of having a similar pass as Levar, and, you know, realize the be there hits home, you know, and Dr. Warner was talking about earlier, because I've been kind of had a spiritual awakening in the last year. I had my first kid 9 months ago, which was a big, I think, reasoning besides meeting Levar. And so it's kind of like Mr. Jimmy said, you know, once I met Levar and kind of learned more about F.O.A.M, I'm all in, you know, and I just want to do what I can do for the community, but also for, you know, my child and my family. So I can't thank you enough, man.
Appreciate it, guys. And something that we also do is that, no, we also have information about men's health, right? We have father's health. We have information on our tape about that, but also communication, right? Communication with your child's mother, again, regardless if it's in the home or outside the home. We have sessions about parallel parenting versus co-parenting, a variety of range of things to make sure that fathers are successful as much as possible. We're currently about to start our program in the Central Parish Jail. So again, we're just trying to reach as many fathers as we can to support fathers and father figures, which will ultimately strengthen families.
Well, no, I agree. I appreciate all of that information. I'm definitely I'm just going to check it out for myself. So I appreciate that. All right.